Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
I got some of them were checking. Did he raise his hand? Oh, I'll raise mine. Anyway, the New York Post cover signaling this will be a losing issue for Democrats. Is it? I love that question. Who wants to lose the election? Anyway, campus reform correspondent, director Emma Meshell is here. We got New York City Council Minority Whip Republican Joe Borelli, Democratic strategist Andrew Feldman. Andrew, and will you begin with you? Do you think this is going to come back to bite them?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think that the American public sees the way this administration is treating immigrants who are trying to come into this country to make a better lives for themselves, their family, and our nation as despicable. And I think that the reality is that both giving insurance to folks that are undocumented is a smart thing for our moral compass, but also a smart thing for the economy in the long term here in the United States.
I don't know. I mean, Emma, there are a lot of Americans, legal American citizens, are going to look at that having a tough time themselves getting such coverage to see that folks who are illegal are getting it ahead of them. That might not sit well with them.
Right. And I mean, we can talk about the moral compass all day, but at the end of the day, these policies will bankrupt our country. When we talk about Medicare for all, that is already a very controversial topic. Most Americans do not want that. And then when you bring in illegal immigrants, people who are not American citizens, talk about giving them Medicare that is funded by taxpayers here in America, that does not pull well with Americans. And I think a lot of people are asking, where does this come from? These concepts are very popular on college campuses, which I am on all the time with campus reform, and they have now migrated from college campuses to the general public, where the far left loves these concepts.
You know, Joe Borelli, the president seizing on this and other remarks from the debate, he said he didn't watch it, but he thinks he might have taken a peek at it.
He watched.
That the party might as just well rename themselves socialists. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, you saw last night just multiple examples of the Democratic Party leaning hard left, making a solid move to the left, whether it's the Medicare for all, whether it's giving away the store to illegal immigrants, whether it's having open borders, whether it's banning all guns. I mean, you just go down the Democratic priority checklist, and it all came out. I think last night the real winner was Trump, in the sense that you got this impression that a lot of these candidates are not necessarily serious people. This idea of giving away free health care to illegal immigrants is going to be music to the ears of Donald Trump, Ronna McDaniel, and pretty much everyone else outside of the Democratic Party base.
Let's remember something.
Andrew, do you get a sense, though, and I know how you feel on this particular issue and others, that there might be some, what you say in that polls, still, they're very early, but they still show the president trailing at least some of the prominent Democrats, in some cases by double digits, especially in many of the states that he won and flipped Republican, but that something like this risks it for Democrats when they go too far. Are they hurting themselves?
I don't think this goes too far, Neil. And let's just say, first of all, no one said last night at the debates that they were going to give undocumented immigrants health care before other folks. And also, let's remember that when undocumented immigrants, some of the 11 million in our country today that go to the emergency room, guess what? That's taxpayer dollars.
Well, wait a minute, you're splitting hairs. Are you saying that what they meant to say is we are going to give illegal immigrants health care, but not before we give it to Americans? Because not a one of them said that.
That's not what they said, though, Neil.
No, we want to get everyone. We want to get. They were asked a question. Would you give illegal immigrants health care? And every single one of them raised their hand. There are no caveats or asterisks attached to it.
Right, because that's the right thing to do for the economy of our country.
You said that you implied in your answer that they were going to do it before Americans had health care first.
No. They're not. No one said that they were going to do it before or after. They said yes, as part of the policy. These folks, it makes sense for us to have a healthier nation.
That's not how you answered me. I just want to know: did you think that there are any caveats to that?
Yeah, I think there's absolutely going to be caveats. Just like Joe Biden said last night that he would still deport folks that had a criminal record. Absolutely.
Okay,
Look, the reality is here, Donald Trump's numbers are underwater because the folks that he committed to helping when he ran on 2016 are struggling. So, all
right. Well, we're veering a little bit from what I asked. But Emma, then I want to go back. Is it your sense that something like this will be built into a campaign ad, and the president, Republicans will say, Fine, however morally you feel about this, ethically you feel about this, it's
Yeah.
going to cost you. I can just see that ad being made.
Absolutely. I think last night was a Republican fundraiser's dream. When you look at the things that Democrats are pushing for, these are not things that can win a general election, and they will not get swing voters in swing states. That is not how you win.
Completely disagree.
But Joe Borelli, what she says that hits another point that maybe Republicans should be worried about, and it kind of addresses what Andrew was raising, that given this economy, given the markets, they want to give the president full credit, he is in the battle of his life right now, and he shouldn't be. Why is he?
Well, look, I mean, if the Democrats want to make the 2020 election just like the 2016 and focus on the economy and immigration, I think that's a fight that most Republicans would want to have. We have the lowest unemployment we've ever had since the Beatles were still a band. We have obviously growth in the stock market, which Democrats tried to downplay last night. We have wage growth. So the economy, take it off the table for an issue as Democrats, as most of them didn't even want to talk about it last night. But when you come back to immigration, the Democrats aren't offering any plan. In fact, the only plan they even spoke about when it came to immigration was offering free health care to those people coming here.
There are a lot
illegal.
of debates to go, a lot of hurdles to overcome, and battles back and forth in key states. So we'll see what happens. But I want to thank you all for taking the time. In the meantime, we're letting you know, of course, the sad news that over the Dominican Republic, at least 14